Okay, so to access this Hadoop file system API, simple, just write the command Hadoop space fs, press enter. Now, so these are the commands which are available with Hadoop file system API. Okay, so that is only these commands are available to work the Hadoop environment. Fine. So in the first command, so this is a cat command, right? So what is a cat command? We all know this, right? So Hadoop fsfn cat. So it is a command which is used to display the content of a file. Okay, so one command is Hadoop fsfn cat. So simple, suppose if you have a file somewhere in SDFS, check here, clear the screen. If you write Hadoop space fs-ls, so these are the files and directories which are available in SDFS. If you want to check a file in x2, then just write Hadoop space fs-ls x2. Then it will list the files in the directory x2, right? So in a x2 directory, we have the three files. One file is part-m-000. So just write the command to see the file. Just write Hadoop space fs hyphen cat and then write slash user, then slash cloudera slash, then write part hyphen m hyphen 0000 c. Now it will display the content of a file, right? So we entered some wrong. User cloudera part hyphen, how many zeros? 5 zeros. No such file. Yes, under Cloudera, so there is a directory x2, right? In x2 directory, we have a file that is part-m 5 zeros. Now we can able to see the content of that file, right? So what is a fsfn cat? Fsfn cat is a command which is used to display the content of a file, right? So now we'll check the next command. Okay, see, we executed this command, right? Hadoop fs-ls, right? So what this ls command? It will list the files and folders in SDFS. Generally, it will take three parameters. One, we can write ls hyphen h, ls hyphen, like suppose how you want to list the files. Suppose if you want to list the files, and the file size should be in a kilobytes, or you want to display the files along with the subdirectories and files in the directory. Suppose if you write Hadoop space fs-ls, right? Now we have listed these files in SDFS. Now I want to list x2 and the subdirectory in this x2 and the files here, right? So then write Hadoop space fs-ls, then write user, then Cloudera. Suppose I want to list in x2, right? So if you write ls hyphen h, right, it will list display in kb format. See, right, each file should be displayed in kilobytes format, right? Suppose if you want to display ls hyphen and r indicates recursively, so it will display with name, subdirectory, and that one the files in the directory. It's a capital R, we have to type, right? Now, so the main directory and files in the directory and files in a subdirectory along with the details are going to be displayed. So Hadoop fs-ls generally will take three parameters. One is by default it is a ls-d or a -ls is same, so it will list only the plain files. Suppose if you want to list the file size and the file size should be in a kilobyte format, then write ls-h. Suppose if you write ls-r, it will list the files along with the directory, subdirectory. Okay, it will display. Fine, sir. Fine, Madhu, Nageshwar.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, right. So the next command, right? So we have to move the files. We have the commands copy from local and copy to local. See, copy from local is a command, right? It's a case sensitive. So here, F capital and L capital, right? So just write copy from local Hadoop space fs hyphen copy from local and specify which file you have to copy from local file system to SDFS file system. See now, clear the screen. I'm going to create a directory Hadoop space fs hyphen mkdir. Write the name. I'm creating a directory with the name Bandaru, right? Suppose ls, so I have a file, see I'm taking this java file name is inpk.java, right? To copy this file, use the command hadoop space fs hyphen copy from local f capital and L capital. Copy from local means you are copying a file from the local file system. Which file you are copying? inpk.java. Now where I want to copy this file, I want to copy this file to the Bandaru directory. So whenever you have created a file, they are created by default under Cloudera location. So user Cloudera. So here I have created directory. Now the file is copied to the directory with the name Bandaru. Right, so this is a command copy from local. We can see this here. Go to the 50070, browse the file system, then you will be navigated to the data nodes where the data is available, user, and then in a Cloudera, right? So the directory which I have created is with the name Bandaru. Right now the file is copied inpk.java. Got it? So this command, what it will do, it always copies a file from the local file system to SDFS file system. Now the reverse is copy to local, right? So copy to local, what it will do, it will copy a file from the SDFS to local file system. Okay, so now the file input file is available in SDFS. I want to copy this file to the local file system. Then you can write like this. Now I want to copy this part file, right? Which file? Part hyphen m hyphen 000 is a file I'm having in SDFS directory user Cloudera x2. You can simply write Hadoop space fs hyphen copy to T capital local L capital copy to local. So from where I want to copy? From SDFS. From which location in SDFS? From user Cloudera and x2 and the file name part hyphen m hyphen 00000. Copy to local, right? Where in the local file system? Now local file system means in your my documents, right? ls pwd present working directory in the home Cloudera. I want to copy this file, then just write slash home, then write Cloudera. Okay, now the file from x2 in SDFS is copied to the directory home Cloudera. You can see here, if you write clear the screen, ls, now we can able to see this part file, right? So this is a file which we have copied, right? In this way we can able to copy a file from the local file system to SDFS file system and SDFS file system to local file system. Okay, clear, Madhu and Nageshwar?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
yes, and the same way, if you want to move the file, the same command, Hadoop space fs hyphen move from local, right? It is moving the file like cut paste, and the same thing will have, and the same file will have move to local. Just a second. Okay, and the reverse is move to local. Hadoop space fs hyphen move to local, right? So it's a copy paste and it is a cut paste. So in this way we can able to move the files from the local file system to SDFS and SDFS to local file system, right? Any question, Nageshwar and Madhu, what the difference between local file system and SDFS file system? This is your operating system, either maybe you're having Windows or Linux. On top of this you have installed Hadoop. So when you install Hadoop, here you will get SDFS and here you'll get your operating system, correct? Now
Mm.
either it can be Windows or it can be a Linux. Now so this we call it as a, it is a local file system, this is a SDFS file system. Now we have copied a file from the local to SDFS as well as SDFS to local.
Here, all the commands are both commands are same in Linux and Windows, right? Same work. It will
No,
work.
it works like, suppose if you add the prefix Hadoop fs hyphen for a Linux command, it becomes Hadoop command.
Mhm. But what about Windows? Suppose if I want to, I'm working in the DOS prompt. So how can we same
Uh,
commands will work in this?
yeah, the same commands work in this set, but it's a little bit different. As of now, dedicated Windows Hadoop for Windows is not available, sir. So
Mhm.
now it is yet to release. Maybe we can expect very much soon from the Microsoft. They may release their own Hadoop, right? As of now, we are using some third-party tool, that is Sigwin.
Mhm.
Okay, with this tool Sigwin, we can able to configure Hadoop in Windows. Just remember this word. So
Sigma.
generally we
Okay.
require this. Madhu, to configure Hadoop in Windows, we can directly cannot install. Right? The preferable is Hadoop is always preferred to configure in the Linux machine. But sometimes your client wants to be Windows and he wants Hadoop, both the things he wants. So that time we have to we have to configure Sigwin. We have to get the Sigwin tool, and in the using the Sigwin, we can able to configure Hadoop in Windows.
It as well open source. We can.
Sigwin,
Yeah.
yes, it's open source and it's a some tool,
Okay.
right, where we can able to configure. Generally we have a one another tool is there, that's a Wine. Do you know this?
No.
Wine is a tool where we can work with the Windows tools in Linux. Suppose see, generally I'm using Linux in my laptop, right? But I need to run iTunes, but iTunes that doesn't available in Linux. Then how to work with my iPhone in my Linux? Then what I'll do, I'll get a tool Wine. With this tool Wine, we can able to work with the Windows in Linux. So the same with the tool Sigwin, we can able to work with the Linux tools in Windows.
Okay, as a developer, we need to know all this cluster setup and
No,
everything.
no. As a developer, we never related to the cluster architecture. And I told this in the previous session because how many number of nodes you are having, even we no need to know. We need to know what is your name node and how to connect to the name node is so required. And everything is the complete abstraction is provided from the developer to the admin. So we no need to know like so many number of size, how to configure the cluster. So we never no need to know. My role is how to write a query. So when I'm writing a MapReduce job, so I'll write cell. See now, see here, simple. Madhu, I'm using this command, right? Hadoop fs copy from local, and I wrote a file name, correct? Which file? In
Yeah.
India versus pk.txt. I wrote to the user Cloudera, and I wrote Bandaru. But did I specify in which data node this directory is available in the command?
No.
No.
No. Suppose it's a cluster of 100 nodes, but I don't write which data node IP address. We won't connect. We are no way related to the configuration of the cluster, size of the cluster, right? So from the thing is what here I'll write where how to connect to the name node. So the complete representation I'll write like this. So SDFS colon slash slash localhost colon name node port slash user slash cloudera and the directory where I want to copy. This is I'll write. So here SDFS colon then the localhost. Hi Raju, localhost. So it's a IP address where the name node is available. So just write that IP address some 198 1 some 135 dot 1.1, then write h0 20, then I'll write so in this machine a directory user, then a directory cloudera, then a subdirectory. This is I'll write. That's it. Now I'll connect. I'll just specify the name node. Okay. So now here how many data nodes are having? So it's a completely abstraction is provided. So we no way related to the size of the cluster.
This directory is fixed in real time as well, user Cloudera.
Yes, in a Cloudera, generally all the user files are created under user Cloudera. Suppose if you are using a Hadoop from the mapper, then you will get user slash Hadoop. In the Hutterworks and mapper, generally this they are available in user Hadoop in a directory mapper. We can able to identify easy. We don't get much time on this. Suppose if you navigate to the 50070, right? If you click the browse the file system, now this is the complete SDFS, right? Now in the SDFS user, so because the user files are available in user, so you click on user. So these are the user files. In that one, user Cloudera is a dedicated directory for the user. And if it is a Cloudera, you will get this in the Cloudera documentation. Okay.
We don't copy anything to root.
No, no, we know we're not, we won't because even we don't get the privileges for that.
Okay.
Okay. So in this way, we can copy the files. Now we'll go with other command. Suppose you don't know the command, just write this one Hadoop space fs press enter. It will list the commands. Now check which command you have to use. Okay. So now we'll see this count command. Yes, it's a little bit. Hi Santosh.
Hi Jay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's an important command. Uh, Hadoop space fs count. Okay. So this command will display number of directories, number of files, that is there underscore count. So how many directories are there in this directory? In this, the path which you specified the path. Suppose if I write hadoop fs-count, then I wrote user slash cloudera, and suppose I specified Ajay. Now if I write like this hadoop space fs-count and the path, this command will display the total number of directories in Ajay, that's a direct underscore count, number of files in the directory file underscore count, right, and size of the files and name of the file is going to be displayed. See, you can check this, just run the command hadoop space fs hyphen count user cloudera Ajay. Right, so there is one file, one direct, there is one directory, 5 files, and the size of the directory and name of the directory. You can check here. If you write hadoop space fs-ls, press enter. Now you'll get the 4 files, right? ba.txt, comment, India vs Pakistan, New Zealand, right? So total 6 files, 5 plus 1, 6, right? So the first one is a directory underscore count. So this is the file underscore count, and so this is the size of the directory and name of the file or path of the file. Okay, so the command is hadoop space fs-count count. Now see here, we have another command is available, another parameter is available. It is hadoop space fs-count q. It's for admins, user cloudera, and then I'll write, right. See Raju, now what I want to do is I want to assign the quotas. What is a quota? In a mapper, we call it as a volumes. Raju, for you, right, here in cloudera generally we call it as a quotas. Now what we'll do, I want to limit the directory for a specific number of files, that we call it as a quotas. Or I want to limit the size of the directory. Suppose for this Ajay directory I'm giving the quotas, like suppose I'm specify the quota 10. I specify the quota 10 means the users cannot able to create more than 10 files in the directory Ajay. So that we call it as a assigning the quotas. Okay, so assigning the quotas. So assigning the quotas are like limiting a directory with number of files, comma, with specified size. Okay,
No. That's your copy, right? Yeah. That is downloading this. Yeah. That's downloading this.
so see if you write hadoop space fs count q. Now the quotas, user cloudera Ajay. So if any quotas are there, now so there is no limit given to the user, right? So first one is quota, available assigned quota, remaining quota. This is assigned space quota, then this is remaining space quota, and the number of directories, number of files, size of the directory and path of the file. Okay, so now with this command count -q will specify the, will list the quotas, not specify, it will list the quotas for a directory. Suppose see, I'll show you. I have a command sdfs space dfs admin, and I'm assigning the quota like this, set quota, right. I want to specify maximum number of files are 10. Then I'm writing user cloud era Ajay. Right, it's saying that access denied, so it require a super user privileges. So I'm executing with a sudo sudo hyphen u, and sdf user is having all the privileges. Okay, so now how much quota I have assigned to the directory Ajay? Nageshwar?
10.
10. That is, now in the directory Ajay, so maximum number of files are allowed is 10. So if you already there are 10 files are there, if you want to copy one more file, it will throw the error.
Mm.
Okay, now the same thing you can check from here. Hyphen q, right, user cloudera and Ajay. Okay, see now I have assigned the quota 10, and right, how much have available total quota 10, and available is 4, means I can able to create more 4 files in the directory, that's it. Okay, so the second one is a space quota, means we have to assign the space. Suppose I'm writing the command set space quota, name me, right, right. So this is how to assign the space quota. Now we can see this one here. Okay, so total assigned space quota and the remaining space quota. Okay, Madhu?
Yeah. Like we don't use these commands, right? These are admin commands, right?
Yes, yeah, the assigning the quotas are the admin role.
Okay. What is SU? I did not get it.
SE is a super
Yes.
user. Suppose in general in Windows, what I'll do now, I'll select run as open with run as administrator, right? Suppose if I want to run
Yeah.
something, right? The same thing in the Linux, we work with SU command. So if you write sudo hyphen u, means sudo super user, and u is a username. SDFS is a username. Sudo hyphen u SDFS. Okay, that is run as an administrator where admin name is SDFS. Okay, so like writing sudo hyphen u is similar like open run as administrator in Windows. Okay, Nageshwar?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is to list the quotas. We write this one. Generally, what we'll do, suppose you have assigned the quota 10, and actually I'm trying to copy a file, but it's throwing the error every time. If the syntax and everything is correct. Now that time check the quotas, because you have limited for only 10 number of files, and you're going to create 11 files. It won't allow. So that for
Mm.
that we'll assign the quotas to avoid to make to limit number of files for a directory, to limit the size of a directory. We'll assign the quotas. Two types of quotas, one is a set quota and other one is a space quota. Set quota will limit the number of files, space quota will limit the size of the directory.
For what purpose do we use this? Like we.
Yes, it's generally user controlling, right, user management,
Okay.
because you won't allow the users to write all the files in one directory.
So we can avoid that unnecessary files to store in that.
Yes, yeah, because when I'll give it this kind of limit, so now whatever you want to write in the directory, you cannot write. So maximum you are allowed only 1 GB in the disk. I have assigned 1 GB space quota. That's it. So you never write more than that. So if it is there, that first you have to delete something to write more. Suppose your office internal mails, right? It's always it always says your inbox is full. Delete some mails because you have assigned only that much of quota to store the data.
Okay. Generally, how much it will be set, like in some cases, in any one of the case.
Yeah, it we can't tell you exactly this much they will assign because based upon the cluster size, based upon the disk availability, based upon the job which you're running, based upon the input data which you're going to process, based on that one the it will be created. So it's maybe we cannot tell because I have to process a file where the file size is 1 GB, 5 GB. One file size is a 5 GB. Then suppose if you have not given the proper space, so we won't load the data, right? We can't get into the SDFS. Okay, so it relies on the size of the file, the job which you are going to process, and the size of the disk. So there are so many things we have to calculate before assigning the quotas. Okay, right. So now see here the command, this is admin command. So I have used one utility, dfs admin utility. Right, suppose if you want to go with administration in the chapter 3, in my training content in chapter 3, so we have a topic dfs admin is available, right? At that time I'm going to teach you about the complete dfs admin, what is a dfs admin, why we use a dfs admin, right? So with the dfs admin, I'm writing set quota. So how much quota I'm specifying? 10. So I wrote dfs admin hyphen set quota for the directory. Now this quota is assigned to this directory. If you want to remove the quota, then we'll write clear quota, CLR. So now it will clear. If anything, it will be deleted.
Hmm.
Right? It's a
Hmm.
clear quota, and we have a clear space quota. Okay. So I have cleared all the quotas. Okay. Now run this. Right. So now there is no quota is assigned to the directory Ajay. Okay, so we'll see with the next command, Hadoop space fs. Right, we'll see the trash. Right, so generally in windows if you delete a file, the file will be moved to the recycle bin, correct? Now the same thing in Hadoop too. If you want to maintain the trash, right, we have the trash is available, right? So now if you delete a file, the file will be moved to the trash. So how to delete a file, Santosh? Any idea
Yes.
how to delete a file in Linux? We use a command
RM.
rm, correct? Rm
RM.
command
Yes.
to delete a file, rmr to delete a directory, correct? So just write Hadoop space fs hyphen rm. Now which file you want to delete? So then write the file name, user cloudera, and then Ajay some file. This file is going to be deleted, right? So where this file, deleted file is going to be moved, this deleted file is going to move to a directory trash, right? So there is a directory, hidden directory is there, the directory name is trash. So the deleted file is moved to the trash. Now how we delete the files from the recycle bin? The command trash, the command is Hadoop space fs hyphen expunge. Okay, expunge is a
Hmm.
command which is used to delete files from the trash. Avastha. To delete files from the trash. Okay, what is the command? Hadoop space fs hyphen expunge is a command. So to first one is if you run this command Hadoop fs hyphen rm, the file will be moved to the trash. When the file is moved to the trash, Madhu, if you enable the trash, correct? Suppose here in my Windows I have disabled the recycle bin. Now can the files are moved to recycle bin? No, right? The same thing is available in Hadoop too. If you enable the trash, then the file will be moved to the trash. Now to delete the files from the trash, the command is hadoop space fs-expunge. See, now I am going to create a directory hadoop fs-mkdir trash demo 23, right? I have created some directory. Okay na? So just want to copy some file, hadoop space fs hyphen copy from local. So I'm copying file from the local file system. Some I'm having some files here, right? So cities 1.java, cities 2.java, right? Cities 3.java, some files. I want to copy these files to the user Cloudera, and the directory I have created is trash demo. What is the name? 23, correct? So trash demo 23. Now these files are copied to the trash demo 23, right? To delete the files, just now see hadoop fs-ls user Cloudera trash demo 23, press enter. Right now, so these are the files I have copied to the trash demo 23. Right now, I'll see how to delete this file. I'm writing command hadoop. First, see, I delete everything from the recycle bin. If any files, that is hadoop space fs-expunge. Right? If any file is there in the trash, is going to be deleted. Right? So previously we have these files in the trash, they are deleted. So I'm running expunge again. It will show the empty now. So there is no file in the trash. Okay. Now I'm going to delete a file, hadoop space fs-rm, and the file user Cloudera trash demo 23, and I want to delete the file cities1.java. Press enter. Okay, now the file is moved to the trash. Okay, now you can see the command hadoop space f7ls. Okay, so cities1.java is deleted. Now where it is moved, now the deleted file is available in trash directory. To delete the files from the trash, hadoop fs-expunge. Now the file is deleted from the trash. Now the trash is empty. Okay, how to delete a directory? Just write, instead of rm, you write r. So in all the Hadoop commands, if you write r at the end, indicates recursive. Okay, write rmr, then write the directory name trash demo 23. Now, so this is moved to the trash. So if I want to list the files from the trash demo 23, it will say no directory exists. Okay, so to delete the directory, the command is fs-rmr. Right, to delete the files from the trash, then write hadoop space fs-expunge. Okay, clear how to delete the files and folders in sdfs?
Yeah.
Right
How to
now,
know track is enabled or not?
yes, sorry, how to, okay,
Know this it is.
right, see how to enable the trash and how to disable the trash, right? So see, now the trash is related to sdfs or mapreduce or common configuration, right? So we have three configuration files are available. We'll see that in tomorrow session. One is sdf-site.xml, right? Now all the SDFs related configurations are available. Now if it is a mapred-site.xml, all the MapReduce configurations are available. I have a file that is core-site.xml where common configuration for SDFs and MapReduce. Now the trash configuration is SDFs or MapReduce.
Maybe HDFS, right? It is related to files. Even if we delete the jobs as well, it
Right.
will
So
go to trash.
right. So it's related to both. Correct. So that is core-site.xml. Common configuration available here. Right. In this file, we have a property dfs.trash.enable. Okay. Now specify amount of the time in seconds. Now that number of time the files are available in a trash. Suppose if you write 0, indicates the trash is disabled.
So this is the command, or we need to write
Property.
any
It's a
program?
property.
Acha.
Open this configuration file, Nageshwar. I'll show you these files in tomorrow session. So
Okay.
we
Okay.
have this file. If you open this file, we have this property dfs.trash.enable. So if you write 0, because the file will be there in 0 time, 0 seconds, means what? Trash is disabled. Otherwise, if you change some time in milliseconds, now this number of time that the files are available in a trash.
Okay.
We can see like here from open a browser, the trash directory we can able to see somewhere here user, right? This is the trash directory. Now all the deleted files are available in this trash directory. Okay, so it's like a navigating to the recycle bin. User SDFS trash. Okay, and clear about how to delete the files and how to enable and disable the trash.
Okay.
What is group? Like it is showing group here.
Yes, and it's I'll teach you. Right, we'll have that in here. Hadoop FS. We'll see that in this command. Change group, change mode, change one. Shown. Generally, every user must be belongs to a group, right? A user will having some privileges, read, write, and execute privileges, and ownership of the directory. So these are the three we'll have. We'll take time. We'll see this in tomorrow session. We'll go with some other commands. Okay, so now it's over. I'm going to teach every command, right? So whatever some commands we'll discuss in today's session, if anything left we'll go with in tomorrow session. Okay, right? So the same thing. Now we have a cp command. Cp command is which also it's copies a file, right? And we have other command df. So what is the Linux command df, Santosh?
Delete files.
df df
Delete
is
files.
no. Df is disk fragmentation. How many blocks are there? Like if you open the my computer, how many partitions are there, right? So the same thing
Okay.
here, df. So that is total number of blocks partitions are available, how much you have created, how much available. It's for the Linux. So if you want to check for the Hadoop, the command is Hadoop space fs hyphen df, press enter.
In which situation it will helpful this DF?
No, just I want to see how much you have allocated for the cluster. We'll run this command.
Okay.
There is not much priority for this in new version. Okay, df. And other command is du. Df is disk fragmentations, and du is how much
Usage.
disk space used. So I just want to know how much space Ajay directory occupied in SDFS. Then just write Hadoop space FSF and du user slash Cloudera slash then Ajay. Okay, so now each file and how much they have used in SDFS. Okay, the command is du, disk usage.
These commands will be useful more on administrator, right? I think.
Yes. See, actually, so these are the suppose Nageshwar, right? We have Windows. Generally, to work with the Windows, what we need to know, copying the files, moving the files, deleting the files, to check the size of the file. Right, in Windows, whatever the basic file system operations we are going to do. So I want to do the same thing in the Hadoop. Correct. So
Mm,
in that case,
mm,
so these are the commands which are available. Only those things we can able to do as of now, right? So maximum in Windows, what I'll see, I'll copy, I'll open, I'll delete, I'll start, right? I'll check the size of the file. So these are basic file system operations in Windows. Like, so we have some file system operations in Linux. So we have some file system operations in Hadoop. So which are available, only the commands which you get with Hadoop FS, they are available. That's it.
okay.
Okay. Now suppose total how much Ajay occupied. Take a calculator and make a sum of this. Otherwise, run the command du-s. Right. If you add
This.
this, it will get 60. Disk usage summary.
Okay, summary. Okay.
Total size. So if you
Okay.
add
Okay.
all the size, then it comes to
Yeah. Yeah.
62501.
Yeah.
The command is
Okay. Okay.
dus, disk usage summary. Okay, see, and so these comments are, it's very important. And Santosh, Nageshwar, and Madhu, because the first thing, if somebody will give a system, we should know how to work with the environment, right? Suppose you are new to the system, so suppose now if we don't, right, coming to the programming, first we'll see later. But as of now, we should know how to work with the environment, right? So for that, these
Yeah.
comments are helpful. So everyone, it's mandatory and it's a must. You need to know these commands. So please, so you have to know that. So no need to go, you never check the documentation how to run these commands, right? So you have to keep these commands in your mind. So based upon your usage, immediately you have to check with these commands, right? So because these commands are for the environment, how to work with the environment. Okay, so the basic things, if the environment is given to you in the first day, so but the thing is, what now you have to check, right? So what is the size of the cluster, where the files are created, how many name nodes are there, how many data nodes are there, so how to run a job, where the files are available. So if you want to check all those things, that case, in that, we need to know this environment. So these commands are, it's very important. Okay, now clear the screen. Right, df and du expense is completed. uh, ls mkdir to create a directory, same, move from local, move to local, move. Okay, put, so these are all copying the files, right? Already I told, suppose copy from local, I wrote here, no, right? Copy from local, then move from local is one command, and put is one command. What these three commands will do, these three commands will copy files from local, ante your, from your operating system to SDFS, local file system to SDFS. Okay, right? The reverse is copy files to local from SDFS. The commands reverse now. Here, move from local, right? So what will write here? Move to local. So simple. Hadoop fs hyphen one command is copy to local, which copy a file from the SDFS local file system, and Hadoop fs- move to local, which moves a file from the SDFS to local. Here we have a put command is there. Then it is Hadoop space fs- which command? Get command, right? And we have a command. It's a CP command. It is not working, but we have a command is available in the documentation. Hadoop fs- CP copy command, right? So these are the commands which copy file from the local file system, means from your operating system, right? Local to SDFS and SDFS to local. So these are the commands, right, where we can able to move the files. Okay, right. RMDIR is similar like RMR command, right? Now set rep command. So what is the default replication factor, Madhu? Santosh?
3.
3, right? So every file which we are going to write, it's a fully distributed mode, it is 3, and if it's a pseudo distributed mode, it is a file. So now every file, suppose, see, I'll show you. I'm taking user Cloudera Ajay, right? Suppose here I'm having a file. What is the file name? ba.txt. What is the replication factor file for this file?
2.
2, right? Now I want to change this replication for one particular file. Okay, see, by default in my SDFS the default replication is 3, but I want to change for one file, I want to change the replication factor. Okay, then we use a command Hadoop space fs- set rep. Now specify -w and how many number of times you want to replicate. 1. And which file you want to change. Then write user wow data. Then write Ajay and then write the file name. Okay. Now for this ba.txt is replicated only once in one time in the cluster. Okay. So in this way we can able to change the replication of a file. Right. See here ba.txt is replicated how many times? 2 times. I want to change this, then run the command hadoop space fsf and set rep, and just I want to replicate only once, then I wrote -w 1 and the file name, press enter, right? Done. Replication 1 set to the file ba.txt. Now refresh it. Now 2 change it to 1. Okay, so this the command is set rep. Clear? And we have, okay, now start. It's an important command. So Hadoop fs-start. So what it will display? It will display statistics of a file, right? So what is the statistics? So when the file is created, right? You want to check that one, date and time when the file is created. Then we'll write Hadoop fs-start. See, clear. Let's take this command Hadoop fs-start user Cloudera and then write Ajay.
Ajay,
Yes, Nageshwar.
The replication is repeating the files, or how it will?
Replication is, see, whenever you are going to write a file, right? Suppose I gave this calculation. Suppose I'm going to write a file of some thousand, suppose simple 100 MB file I'm going to write, suppose 1000 MB file.
Hmm.
Okay, so what is the file name? Brad info dot is a file name. The size is 1000 MB, and the default
Hmm.
block size is, here I am using 64 MB, means every block is 64 MB. Then how many blocks are
Hmm.
going to be created? Now this prod info file is going to be distributed as how many number of blocks? 1000 divided by 64. How much it is, Santosh? It is a 15.6. That is how many blocks are created? 16 blocks are
Okay.
created.
Okay.
Right? That is, we'll have a block 1, we'll have a block 2, like
Right.
so
Okay.
total 16 blocks are there.
Okay.
Now observe here, from block 1 to block 15 are same size. Madhu, this is a rule.
Yeah.
All blocks except the last block is the same size. Remember,
Hmm.
it's general. We won't change, because if it is an odd number, we won't distribute in a equal number of files, right? So all the blocks except the last block is a same size. Okay, so now how many blocks are going to be created? 16 blocks are going to be created, and we are using commodity hardware, inexpensive machines. So maybe a disk maybe goes down, so that what we did, we are going to replicate each block as number 3 times. So what is the replication factor for your client? So based on that, suppose if the replication, generally the default replication for a multi-node cluster, or for in a, right, so in a fully distributed mode, in a fully distributed mode, default is 3, means every block is replicated 3 times. That is, now block 1 is replicated how many times? 3 times. So we have block 1 is available 3 times, right? Same, the block 2 is also available 3 times. Now these blocks are equally distributed to all the data nodes. Okay, so how they are going to be distributed? See, can you able to see this diagram, Nageshwar? See now. So
Hello.
like, yes, Nageshwar. Now see, these are the 3 data nodes. Okay. Now, so this is a name node and these are the data nodes. And so what these are 1 to 4 are the blocks of related one file. 3 comma 5 are the blocks related to another file. Now these blocks are equally distributed to the data nodes. So that data node 1 will have the block 1, and data node 3 is having also the block 1. Means here each block is replicated twice. Okay, so if this data node goes down, we'll have the black one in the data node 3, so that we can continue our job.
Okay.
Okay, so like, so this is the replication factor. So every input file which we are going to write in the cluster is going to be converted into the blocks as a blocks, and the blocks are going to be replicated based upon the replication factor. After that, the blocks are distributed to the cluster. Here it is, there is a policy is there how these blocks are moved. It's a, we call it as a blocks, maybe may get confused, I'll teach later, right? So blocks replication placement policy is there. Okay, so to place the blocks, it will follow the block replication placement policy. Okay, so what this policy is saying that, so one block is available in a same data node, right? Which block? One block is available one data node. Second block should be placed in another data node in a same rack. Okay, it's a second one. And third block should be third replica block should be placed in different data node in a different rack. Okay, so these blocks are replicated. After replicating the blocks with these rules, the blocks are moved to the cluster. So one block is in one data node, right? Same rack. Second block is available in a same rack in a different data node, and third one is available in a different rack, different block. So the blocks are placed like this in this way. Okay, like see, suppose this is one rack we are having, right? In this rack, so data node 1 will having some data node 2, right? The data, see, four data nodes are there, consider, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So now what we are saying, black one should be there in this data node, and the black one should be there in this data node. Now this is a rack 1, right? And the third block should be placed in a another rack, that is rack 2. Okay, rack 2 is having some data nodes like this. Now what they are saying, that now place this black one, this is also black one, and the third block, third replica should be there in different rack, black one. Okay, so like the blocks are placed like this way, Nageshwar. So what is the advantage
Okay.
here?
If
Suppose
one rack,
the, proper utilization of network bandwidth.
Hmm.
Suppose if you move the two blocks in the rack, so if this data node goes down, then you have to travel to another rack, correct? Suppose if moved all the three blocks in one rack, so if entire rack goes down, so that, so actually we are working with this black one. If this data node is not available, then the same rack it will goes to this fourth data node, and it will work with the data. Now the third replica is another different rack. So this is a replication placement policy, and each block is replicated 3 times. Santosh, are you clear or any confusion here?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, right.
how we can see which block is stored in which data node?
Sir,
Can you explain?
sorry, come again.
How we can see that which block is stored in which data
No,
node?
no, we
Or
cannot able to see that. It's the rule. We never know that which blocks are placed into the which data node. We cannot
okay,
able to see. We never able to connect to the data nodes directly. We always connect to the name node. From a developer point of view, I am saying, from a admin you will have the privileges, but from a developer we always connected to the name node. So in the top of these data nodes, so we'll somewhere will have a name node, right? So all these data nodes are connected to the name node. Now this is a name node, right? Now so these data nodes are connected to, now this is a name node, so these are connected to this name node. Now this entire setup is a cluster. So now to which data node is available, so we'll always only connect to the name node. Now which file you want, you tell the file name. We will never tell which blocks.
Okay.
Okay, because see in the command the same again here. The command what I did, I wrote this command fs hyphen uh, copy from local. Just I have given this file name. That's it. I have not specified the number of blocks. I have not specified the size. Now by default, this file in our spark.txt is distributed as a small size of chunks. The chunks are replicated. Replicated blocks are distributed, and it will be written as a metadata into the name node. So if it is available in name node, now directly I'll connect to the name node. Then the job tracker goes to the name node, then it will retrieve where the data is available, in which blocks are available, and it will display the user. We never directly retrieve the blocks, right? Some set of blocks are is a one file, right? Okay, so we don't know that, so which blocks are in which data node. Some data node here, I said like block data node 1, data node 3. Some data node will have the block 1, some data node, another data node will have the block 1. That's it. But we cannot say exactly this data node 1 we have this block. Okay, Santosh.
Yep.
Madhu, clear with this? Nageshwar?
Yeah.
Okay. So now now by default replication is 3. So every file, every input file which you are going to process is replicated 3 times. But for particular files, I'll think it's a less important. Then what I'll do, so I'll specify the replication it is to 1. Okay, Nageshwar? Right. And we are working with,
As a developer, we deal with the replication factor or admin will set that.
it's admin who will say that.
Okay.
Okay, and where this start command, right? So this will show you the statistics. Now see, I just want to check how many, what is the block size of the file. See, I have fs-ls user cloudera Ajay. Can you able to hear me, Nageshwar? Madhu?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Fine. Right, see here, we have a file ba.txt, correct? Now I want to check the replication factor for this file. Okay, what is the replication factor for ba.txt, and I don't want to navigate through GUI, through browser. Then simple, just run the command hadoop space fs hyphen start, then write percentage r. Raju, you have to do this. Generally it's an admin role. Nageshwar, here it's okay from my side. Okay, if you write hadoop space fsfn start percentage r, then write user space cloudera, then Ajay, then ba.txt, right? So now for that ba.txt, what is the replication factor? 1, right? So if you want to check the block size of this file, it's a percentage b, right? So the size it is occupied is 12176 bytes. Okay, to check the date and time, it's a percentage d. Okay, so this file belongs to which user? Percentage u. right? The which belongs to user Cloudera. Which group? Percentage G. Okay, so this is like statistics of a file. Okay,
Okay.
fine. Right, so remaining comments we'll see in tomorrow session. Okay na?
Okay.
Yeah, fine, fine.